living the stream. Superledger in your ear, crystal clear. Every interview bringing pioneers here from the bayou to the big tech crew. Tune in, we got the know-how flowing through. Steady fuel, feeding minds, alchemy on rewind, decentralized chatter, community matter, Web3 staircase climbing the ladder. Ideas like gumbo, thick and rich, podcast shift, no easy hitch, smart contracts, digital tracks, building the future, ain't cutting no slack. Ideas like gumbo, thick and rich, podcast shift, no easy hitch, smart contracts, digital tracks, building the future, ain't cutting no slack. Ideas like gumbo, thick and rich, podcast shift, no easy hitch, smart contracts, digital tracks, building the future, ain't cutting no slack. From the heart of the Crescent City, where the rivers get gritty, Chris and Arctic on a journey, staying pretty. Superledger Podcast, your weekly blast. Community vibes, never choose the last. Web3 hustlers, blockchain busters. Interview so fresh, got your second guess. Crypto dreams, tech supreme. New Orleans being, living the stream. Superledger in your ear, crystal clear. Every interview bringing pioneers here from the bayou to the big tech crew. Tune in, we got the know-how flowing through. Chris dropping jewels, all steady fuel, feeding minds, alchemy on rewind, decentralized chatter, community matter, Web3 staircase climbing the ladder. Ideas like gumbo, thick and rich, podcast shift, no easy hitch, smart contracts, digital tracks, building the future, ain't cutting no slack. Superledger in your ear, crystal clear. Every interview bringing pioneers here from the bayou to the big tech group. Tune in, we got the know-how flowing through. Crescent City, where the rhythms get gritty. Chris and Arctic on a journey, staying pretty. Superledger Podcast, your weekly blast. Community vibes, never choose the last. Web3 hustlers, blockchain busters. Interview so fresh, got your second guess. Crypto dreams, tech supreme. New Orleans beam, living the stream. Superledger in your ear, crystal clear. Every interview bringing pioneers here from the bayou to the big tech group. Tune in, we got the know-how flowing through. Steady fuel, feeding minds, alchemy on rewind, decentralized chatter, community matter, Web3 staircase climbing the ladder. Ideas like gumbo, thick and rich, podcast shift, no easy hitch, smart contracts, digital tracks, building the future, ain't cutting no slack. Ideas like gumbo, thick and rich, podcast shift, no easy hitch, smart contracts, digital tracks, building the future, ain't cutting no slack. Ideas like gumbo, thick and rich, podcast shift, no easy hitch, smart contracts, digital tracks, building the future, ain't cutting no slack. From the heart of the Crescent City, where the rivers get gritty, Chris and Arctic on a journey, staying pretty. Superledger Podcast, your weekly blast. Community vibes, never choose the last. Web3 hustlers, blockchain busters. Interview so fresh, got your second guess. Crypto dreams, tech supreme. New Orleans beam, living the stream. Superledger in your ear, crystal clear. Every interview bringing pioneers here from the bayou to the big tech group. Tune in, we got the know-how flowing through. Chris dropping jewels, all steady fuel, feeding minds, alchemy on rewind, decentralized chatter, community matter, Web3 staircase climbing the ladder. Ideas like gumbo, thick and rich, podcast shift, no easy hitch, smart contracts, digital tracks, building the future, ain't cutting no slack. Superledger in your ear, crystal clear. Every interview bringing pioneers here from the bayou to the big tech group. Tune in, we got the know-how flow. Crescent City, where the rhythms get gritty. Chris and Arctic on a journey, staying pretty. Superledger Podcast, your weekly blast. Community vibes, never choose a last. Whip through hustlers, blockchain busters. Interviews so fresh, got your second guess. Crypto dreams, tech supreme. New Orleans beam, living the stream. Superledger in your ear, crystal clear. Every interview bringing pioneers here from the bayou to the big tech group. Tune in, we got the know-how flow through. Steady fuel, feeding minds, alchemy on rewind, decentralized chatter, community matter, Web3 staircase climbing the ladder, ideas like gumbo, thick and rich, podcast shift, no easy hitch, smart contracts, digital tracks, building the future, ain't cutting no slack, ideas like gumbo, thick and rich, podcast shift, no easy hitch, smart contracts, digital tracks, building the future, ain't cutting no slack, ideas like gumbo, thick and rich, shift, no easy hitch, smart contracts, digital tracks, building the future, ain't cutting no slack. From the heart of the Crescent City, where the rhythm get gritty. Chris and Arctic on a journey, staying ready. Superledger Podcast, your weekly blast. Community vibes, never choose the last. Web3 hustlers, blockchain busters. Interviews so fresh, got your second guess. Crypto dreams, tech supreme. New Orleans beam, living the stream. Superledger in your ear, crystal clear. Every interview bringing pioneers here from the bayou to the big tech group. Tune in, we got the know-how flowing through. Chris dropping jewels, Arctic steady fuel. Feeding minds, alchemy on rewind. Decentralized chatter, community matter. Web3 staircase climbing the ladder. Ideas like gumbo, thick and rich. Podcast shift, no easy hitch. Smart contracts, digital tracks. Building the future, ain't cutting no slack. Superledger in your ear, crystal clear. Every interview bringing pioneers here from the bayou to the big tech group. Tune in, we got the know-how flowing through. Crescent City, where the rhythms get gritty. Chris and Arctic on a journey, staying pretty. Superledger Podcast, your weekly blast. Community vibes, never choose a last. Whip through hustlers, blockchain busters. Interviews so fresh, got your second guess. Crypto dreams, tech supreme. New Orleans beam, living the stream. Superledger in your ear, crystal clear. Every interview bringing pioneers here from the bayou to the big tech group. Tune in, we got the know-how flowing through.
Welcome, everyone. We'll get started in just a few seconds. Chris, are you here?
Yeah, you bet. I think we're ready to go. I
All right.
might need to start with a voice there. All
All
right,
right,
let's get
sounds good.
into it. This week's show, there's no guest. It gives us an opportunity at all levels of our ecosystem to gather and engage, question, ponder, and speculate. Hopefully, provide some value and solutions along the way. So, thank you for joining us here on X, YouTube, and for the first time on Zora, also on my Aquarium Concepts account over there. Just trying that out. So give us some feedback if you're tuning in on Zora. Leave us a comment or a question. It's open space today. Anything goes. So welcome all those new viewers and followers over there. Please send a mic request at any point through the show here today if you are joining us on X, and if not on any of the other platforms, please use the comments. We will watch those for any questions, comments that might pertain to the show as we're going. And please just like, share. We are going again here from the Superledger Podcast X account, which we haven't really used until last week, and when we were forced into it, when we got rugged there. So we need to get everybody used to following that account and joining us here on X for our Superledger Podcast. So please give it a follow, like, and share. Let everybody know we're here and ready to go. I'd like to thank our sponsor today, Aquarium Community DAO. Aquarium Community DAO is about value, resources, education, and networking opportunities for anyone in the aquarium and sologenic ecosystem. You can support Aquarium Community DAO by staking to Aquarium Community DAO Validator, and will also qualify you for the upcoming Q4 snapshot December 21st for the next round of CCD rewards. You can learn more at aquariumcommunitydao.com. And we also have a weekly Aquarium Punk spin sponsored by Same. Articulate, do you have that ready to go for us today?
Yes, thank you, Chris. And this week, as Chris said, every week we do a week spin to distribute our CCD tokens, and it's to the Punk holders. So if you're not holding Aquarium Punk right now, I think it will be good for you to do so, as every week someone gets a chance to win. It's been different. It's been Aquarium, NFTs, it's been CCD tokens. So it's we've been mostly doing the CCD tokens, but this week we did a spin sponsored by, conducted by Grok. And I'm proud to announce that the winner is the holder of punk number 5819. 5819, and that punk is already minted. I did the post just now, and it's at the top of the space. So congratulations to the winner and the holder of that. Please make your way over to the Aquarium Community DAO Discord. Open a ticket to claim your 10,000 CCD tokens. All right, so congratulations to the holder of punk number 5819. And I know that 589 holds some sentiment in the XRP community, but shout out to that winner.
Nice. Good to see. Well, let's get into it. It's nice having these open spaces just to get together and chat. Lots going on, lots to talk about. Next week already, can't believe it's happening so soon here, the Web3 Artist Awards. So the judging is on now, so there's a link out there to judge. There's several in the Corium and XRPL and related communities, Cosmos ecosystem that we have friends in also nominated in the awards. So be sure to get involved in the public judging portion of that. I'm sure Articulate will have some links at some point for us on that through the show. But lots going on also, as mentioned, Aquarium Community DAO, big month for us. Our Q4 snapshots coming up. Next round of CCD awards going out. So that's really nice. Lots happened since the last time. We got the liquidity pool on osmosis and some cruise control pools active. So yeah, lots to talk about in Aquarium Community DAO. So everybody's welcome to ask any questions, learn about that if needed here today. And validator discussions. There's some interesting validator discussion going on about some changes to help improve the ecosystem on the validator level. So you can take a peek in on that. So take a quick look at his bio. Andrew is his name. So yeah, lots to get into, lots going on in the XRP ecosystem and all over. So markets today, I see some up and down all over the place. OmniFlix is migrating. Flix.fund channels are going live. Media nodes coming up here soon. Wherever it takes us, it's all open. So what's on your this week? Articulate.
I'm sorry, I was making my rounds, getting the word out about the space. Yeah, there's a lot. I know the Cruise Control V2 recently launched, and I've kind of been on there a lot, finding out more things as I use the platform. Pretty smooth overall. And I like what it allows you to do, and I can't imagine what comes next. I know that lending and borrowing is the next key thing that is going to be rolled out before year end. They did build an Oracle, Corium's first native Oracle, and that will allow for is being built on Corium. So I think that's going to help to propel the ecosystem as builders start utilizing the blockchain and the tools that have been here. And the projects that are on the Cruise Control platform initially, I think most or some of the ones on the decks are going to be the ones included to be utilized in the lending and borrowing portion. And predictions market are coming, and another NFT marketplace. So aside from Cruise Control, there are just other, network of builders building actively right now, and it's good to see the activities happening just on the chain, and as the bigger catalysts create more tailwinds for builders and projects on the chain. I think it's going to be a very great 2026 just for the whole blockchain industry in general, as it's being launched in the US markets and around the world, but also as it's being integrated into TradFi. And I think that's going to be the key that helps to unlock some of the use cases of these networks.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. A lot to talk about. I see it's pretty quiet here. I think the switch over might cause us some confusion for a week or two, but thanks those that have found their way here. I see our sides here. Our side. Welcome, anything goes here today. NTO just popped in. I'm sure he'll have something to say. Come on up and get started. With Corium, and I think a lot of people are going to be interested in it because one thing that a lot of people have asked about and have been concerned about is marketing, and that seems to be his area of expertise. So really looking forward to seeing what develops with that. Just trying to bring up his bio here. And I got too many devices on the go, so I'm gonna just make sure I don't press the wrong button on the wrong one, but I'll bring it up here shortly. I see a few people are starting to come in. Welcome Devon, Zaman's here, so they're finding our way. Appreciate those that have shared the show here at the new location. Should be the old location, but here we are, 106 episodes in, and migrating finally to the Superledger podcast. But we'll have to figure a way to get you up here stage next to articulate. We'll work on that maybe for next week, get that sorted out.
For sure, for sure.
Yeah, so as far as the he's an advisor for the Cointelegraph Accelerator and worked with most of the larger L1s in the space. Always focused on growth. So that's what he's here to do. So really looking forward to seeing that. Seems like some fresh energy into the Korea marketing ecosystem with somebody that's been in the industry for some time and would likely have a lot of value to bring. So looking forward to that. So there's rumors of some other new hires Mike mentioned some time ago. I assume that's just one of them, but slowly here in the days, weeks, months ahead, hopefully we'll learn of more of those. And but it's just good to see teams building, working towards the goal. And we're looking at regulations. A lot of people are putting a lot of weight on regulations, and I don't know, that's dangerous because that ball can get kicked down the road for who knows how long. But here we are. It's coming up to the end of Q4. We got Solotex hopefully coming soon. We were told still last update it was still Q4. So here we are. It's a big few weeks ahead in the ecosystem for everybody.
Yeah, I think some of the big announcements happened on the week, closing off last week, Thursday, Friday. One of the bigger ones was the CFTC announcing that they're adding digital assets to that, allowing them to be traded on, just where TradFi assets are out in the open, kind of mainstream, crypto going mainstream. And I think that level of clarity is going to accelerate the adoption and integration of these networks and assets across just the traditional finance and where big money is, and that signal to let them know, hey, it's safe to play, safe to utilize these assets. I think it was a handful of assets they opened up for that, but I think it's a big start, and it's something that if you asked maybe 2-3 years ago about the eventuality or the actuality of something like this at this level, it would have seemed like something far-fetched, or it might have seemed crazy, but to see this as a reality today, I think it's something that is the signal of where we are in terms of adoption and the maturity of this asset class in the markets. So I think that was a big move. I do believe I saw something that XRP was also mentioned as, I'm trying to find some resources here so I could post at the top to back up what I'm saying, but I think XRP was one of those leading assets that was a part of the rolling out of that. And I think Ripple is also a part of the Bitnominal board. The Bitnominal is that derivative exchange that is part of the exchanges that are regulated by the CFTC that was given the green light to start to trade some of these digital assets, cryptocurrencies. And to me, I think that's going to, along with rate cuts and all the other things happening on the macro, that gives credence to okay, the CFTC is going to be in charge of cryptos in terms of it as a commodity. There are going to be certain things, use cases, and things that make certain cryptos securities like tokenize, equities and things like that. But for the most part, the crypto is going to be regulated by the CFTC, and that's one of their first move. I think it's big things that are coming down the pipe for that.
Yeah, I was just looking at the XRP ETF overview for November 2025, the highlights, and listen to this. November 2025, the US spot XRP ETF market exploded into existence, marking a pivotal shift for Ripple's native token. Following SEC approvals under the new generic listing regime, the first pure play spot XRP ETF launched amid high institutional anticipation. This wave of products has driven unprecedented inflows, outpacing early Bitcoin and Ethereum ETF debuts in terms of speed and volume. Despite initial sell the news volatility, sustained demand has pushed total assets under management past $1 billion by early December, absorbing over 300 million XRP tokens and reducing exchange supply by nearly 30%. Key drivers include institutional custody transfers, example 80 million XRP to Coinbase in mid-November, competitive fee structures with Franklin Templeton EZRP offering at record low 0.19% base fee. On-chain data shows whales adding 150 million XRP from large holders and 970 million from mid-tier cohorts, signaling deep-pocketed accumulation. So there you go. That's how you come out in a bang in the ETF world.
Yeah, and that's not even half of the list of ETFs that are pending for XRP, right? So in places where, Wall Street is at, institutions are at, these assets also become more rare, right? As you read just now, some of these, exchanges are being depleted. There's soon enough, because each of these ETFs are going to need the asset to back it. So soon enough, the AMMs and the lending and borrowing, and as people start to offer yield for your XRP, is going to become very highly sought after. So it's a big moment, and it seems as if, as prophesied, XRP is kind of one of those leading assets, leading the momentum and the shift in the market maturation. And what does that mean for our ecosystem, right? Corium, Solargenic, as projects that are birthed out of XRP ledger. What does that mean for us, right? And I think the quietness might be the signal of the quiet, the quietness before the storm. But I think there's big things coming. Tokenization is one of those key things that coming into the ecosystem. And I'm not just talking regular people, I'm talking the people that move the needle on a global scale. And there's a few high level ones that are still out there, like BlackRock and Fidelity, etc. With where it's called more altcoin ETFs, as they have their Bitcoin and Ethereum. So those moves are going to be earth shaking. There've been people who don't see altcoins as something that mean a lot, right now. And some people are just looking at the token itself, not the network and what it can do. And I think that's where they're going to miss a lot. These are networks, these are things that are going to be utilized to solve real world issues, not just the price of the token going up and down. So if you do your due diligence and research and skim through the millions of assets out there, you're going to find that some of these, outside of speculation, have real utility. And once that starts getting adoption, there's going to be some very, very, very unique opportunities out there. And, we are probably sitting on some of them right now, so as you do your homework and sift through these tokens and these use cases, I do believe that what's happening with the adoption of the institutions coming in, it could be fast. It could be where the market caps just of crypto overall starts to rise because of adoption, the need for it to be backing these ETFs, etc., and the integration and the utility of it in these in banks and payments and the different use cases. What do you think, Chris?
Yeah, absolutely. The metrics around XRP everywhere you look are absolutely exploding. I was just looking at the post from Robert from Zaman Wallet, December 4th. This year's been one for the record books, double-digit percentage growth across the board. Active users closing in on 700,000. Zaman Wallet opened almost 20 million times. And listen to this one, nearly 400,000 new users onboarded. Over 423 million actions within the app.
Wow.
So that's just one wallet within the XRP ecosystem. And that brings me to another thing I should point out too, is the new Anodos wallet. I don't know if you tried it or not, but yeah, the easier it gets to onboard people onto the XRPL, the growth is going to be exponential from this point forward, I'm sure.
Yeah, and you can see it. It's listed formally as the number 3 assets on Coin Market Cap right now. 4, actually, number 4 outside of the altcoin, the stable coins, but number 3 in terms of just outside of stable coins. And there's a lot there with what Ripple is doing, and Ripple is well positioned from the governmental level down. They've worked hard to form partnerships worldwide, and I think that moment is arriving where all the work they've been doing and the network they've built and the rails they've built, from the Fed onward down, like it doesn't get any more important than that. And the fact that they were one of the only cryptos, if not that, went through the courts for clarity, that still means something. So when the time comes for big players to look at in networks and assets and just the time that it's been in the game, over 10 years, those things are gonna bring it home for a lot of people. You can now include it in your 401ks, and they're moving the barriers of entry. So as more and more people are given the green as a stretched out window of adoption where the demand has been pent up for so long. As Clarity Act comes to fruition and the market structure bill happens, I do believe that because of the demand for liquidity, the banking sector needs liquidity right now. Countries, nations need liquidity, and the blockchain is here to solve it. So I don't see a long drawn out accumulation adoption phase like the accumulation phase we just passed through, for all this time. I see that as being a shorter window where institutions and governments, banks are going to, pile in market makers. I was listening to a podcast where they were speaking about the uniqueness of what XRP is and what the relation is with market makers. And yeah, they're going to need to buy and sell it and stuff, but they're going to always need to have it on deck to sell it. So as the price rise and they keep buying and selling and buying at higher prices each time, as a token holder, as a, still going to be that buy pressure on it, so yeah. NTO, I see you joined. Welcome, man. How are you this week?
Life is absolutely great. Are we there yet, guys? Are we there yet? Are we there yet? No, I just came up because I couldn't hear anything from down in the listener mode. So I don't know if other people are having the same issue. But I know we've been having that problems in spaces here for the last week or so.
Oh yeah, happy you're here. I think we're closer there, especially with what the CFTC did over the last week and Vanguard joining the party. I think the announcements and the splashes are going to be bigger. So yeah, but I think there's a big moment coming for crypto, and people are. I see a report that Gen Z is asking or looking to get crypto as gifts for Christmas. What kind of buy pressure that puts on the markets, and how does that pan out? I don't know, but it's going to get louder from here for sure, and especially when the Clarity Act happens and everyone is more aware of crypto, and they start seeing it show up where they hold their assets, their bank accounts and everything. It's going to come full circle for most people, and I think that moment is going to be that aha, like, oh, I'm missing out. I need some, so we're getting there.
What I find interesting here is you have guys like Vanguard who basically said they'll never touch any crypto for their customers. Basically joined the party here. But then on the other hand, I'm hearing, and I don't know if you guys heard it too here. A lot of these people are getting debanked, and I mean we're talking some pretty wealthy people here. I don't know if you've heard that, but and I can't remember the names here, but they were significant names where the bank is just saying they're not even giving people reasons to unbank them. They're just freaking being unbanked.
Is that something that's happening still now, and is it where, like in the
It's
US?
it's more so it's more so happening now here. It's almost like the banks are fighting back on crypto here, while the government basically is the Trump administration is pushing it forward here. So I think we're due for a war here.
Has that been in the US? I don't know if you what region.
U.S., Canada. Europe, even Asia.
Mm.
If you take a look at how many people are starting to get debanked here, it's actually pretty crazy.
Yeah, I do know that there is this executive order passed where it's punishable by law for banks who decide to do that in the United States. So yeah, it's going to get interesting because yeah, that's that last fight. The banks are not going to give up their bread and butter so easily. And I know some of the things holding up the Clarity Act and the market structure has been like stablecoin yields and things like that. But if you have entities like Ripple and so forth bidding to become banks, they're maybe that's going to be the new banks. Those are going to be some of the where some the money goes, and people are starting to have accounts with them. So maybe it's that switch over from because it's been what close to 100 years that's this banking infrastructure has been around, and it's been through generations. So I could imagine the fight and the money, the resources behind that fight, right? So it might get pretty dicey, but I think overall in the end they're at the end of their roadmap. They have to pivot if anything, because they need the liquidity, they need the solution that blockchain offers. So even outside of them throwing a tantrum, so for lack of better words, they're going to need to do something actionable to save their own selves. And the things that they know and have been doing have not been working. And frankly, people are happy to have options, not have to pay these high fees and getting little or nothing on their money. And they're threatened, of course, and this is what it looks like. But I think that there's not going to be a choice themselves, just like how we see in Vanguard and JP Morgan and them switch. You might hear the total opposite because it's something they need, not a want.
I just don't think these big boys are going to give up the freaking power that they have in the banking industry here. Let guys like Ripple and some of these exchanges get their banking charter. I just don't see it.
What's rule number 4 to Bitcoin, NTO?
What's that?
What's rule number 4 of Bitcoin?
This is aquariums.
I thought you'd know the 21 rules there, but number 4 is called Bitcoin is powered by chaos. That's why you're bringing the chaos.
No, I'm just bringing up points. This is aquarium space. I mean, you guys give me enough slack about Bitcoin, so we'll leave that here. Let's talk about aquarium here.
No, on a lighter note on Bitcoin, I think I sent it to you. Did you see that? Did I send you that link about powering yachting expeditions using Bitcoin?
Yeah. Isn't that interesting? But we're talking about shit like that earlier in regards a couple of years ago here. I was talking about, and people were laughing at me, where basically said utilize the power that's there already here. I mean, imagine everybody has a furnace here. Imagine being able to use the power from a furnace here to mine Bitcoin or any of these other power sources there are here, space heaters or whatnot here. So
what about everybody's treadmill? Wouldn't that work? You can be like a hamster wheel for mining Bitcoin.
I mean, we could go down to the level of phones and computers, use that energy to mine Bitcoin. Everyone, has that. So I think it's, and that's the thing, as these things get clarity, then you're going to see it everywhere, right? In regular lives, like sneakers that you walk and you mining Bitcoin, it's going to be a thing, anywhere energy is used, it can be recaptured and repurposed in that way. So it's going to get very interesting. We've seen videos on the internet where people in remote regions are being very creative using rivers, the power of water, to mine Bitcoin and just everything. And from there you can see how the adoption can accelerate, right?
Well, look it out down in El Salvador. I was watching this one program here where they were using old cooking oil, reused cooking oil, in order to mine Bitcoin.
What?
Yeah.
How does that work?
Use it as fuel. Use it as fuel in the generators.
Yeah, and then we go from there. If somebody has their Bitcoin, they could swap it out for like an XRP or whatever else, and you started having.
Yeah. Nobody's gonna exchange their X
on NTO. You didn't get to stop it. Too late, man. It's too late.
Rule number 18, NTO. Laser eyes protect you from endless lies.
Seriously, guys, come on! I go in these other spaces. I get bugged enough here. Can we just talk about Corium?
Yeah, we're getting there. The next thing I was going to say is swap it out for Corium.
I do want to bring up on a note though. I mean, this Lendor protocol that is going to be launched on Corium here, in regards to airdrop. That's going to be a long. Has there been any more information given out on that here, or does anybody know anything about it? I see Coreezy's got his hand up.
I actually had my hand up because I came across something. I sent you a message about it. Bitcoin staking. Did you see that? What I sent you? There's a chain called Baby Genesis where you can actually stake your Bitcoin.
Oh, that's old, man. That's Babylon.
Is it?
That's by
Babylon.
That's by Babylon.
Babylon.
Yeah.
No,
one of the last survivors of the Cosmos ecosystem.
Yeah, they're still running. I was just looking at it.
Yeah, I don't know how much I would trust that.
Let's hear. I think Jax is. I don't know if I'm saying that right. Welcome, man. How are you?
Yeah, hello. Sorry, I didn't want to derail the conversation. It was starting to get a little bit of Bitcoin conversation in there, so I was going to jump in on those points. But I know that's not the point of your space, so I'll just go back to listening.
Oh no, we
No,
good,
by all
man.
means.
We're good.
No,
Good.
hey, if there's something on your mind, by all means, this is a space to say it. We're all still learning, brother.
No, I just was coming up to agree with you on. I don't think people that are out there mining Bitcoin are going to be swapping it out for X. Up like the future use cases of like space heaters in people's apartments or homes. And I mean, there's been talk about that stuff and those products for a long time. It's just got to get away from the point of people thinking they're going to see a return on it, because the hashing is going up so much and the cost to mine is so expensive that you're not really going to see much return on those. It's just going to, if you want to run your own node and contribute, just it might be productive in a way that will produce heat and stuff, but and limit your cost of heat a little bit, but it's not going to be adding much hash to the network, and you're not going to see much return for it. But you'll see some cool products, I'm sure, over time.
Well,
I agree with you on.
I'm no
Go ahead.
expert on it, but being that we have some people that know on here, likely, I just seen actually a post that the hash rates peaking at the moment, and the way I understand it, somewhat the brilliance of Bitcoin. It kind of regulates that. Obviously anybody can mine it, but there is a cost to it. So that's kind of like the regulator, if I understand it, to kind of squeeze some people out and manage it by the hash rate. Is that correct?
Right. Yeah. So the difficulty
Yeah.
adjustments all dependent on.
Ousted Bitcoin miners here. What happened to the hash rate, which is basically a real good example.
Bitcoin or adoption of Bitcoin through other networks like say Bitcoin on XRP or Corium or XLM, getting it in a way where it's less fees per se and faster transactions. Do you think that will also be a driver for the adoption?
I'll only hold Bitcoin and Bitcoin proxies anymore. But there's wrapped Bitcoin and there's much as people seem to think the idea of you could have Bitcoin wrapped on different chains and it'll be cheaper and faster. It just hasn't seen much use or adoption on it. So maybe in the future it will be, but as of right now, I just don't think it's a big use case for it. I mean, honestly, most of these in the future, but as of right now, it's my investment thesis is what's been around the longest, has the most hash rate, proof of work is what I like, and then that I trust having my net worth in long term, and so that's why I'm Bitcoin. But I think other people do find their way to Bitcoin. As myself, in 2017, I invested in 20 different tokens and got burnt on all of them in 2017, 2018. And slowly over time, I think you're like, okay, Bitcoin's been around, it's been number one. I need to put at least 10% of my stack in there, and then 20%. And then as more and more of these, you see more and more of these projects go away, you're like, okay, maybe 50%. And so I'm not saying everything is going to go away or there's not going to be a market for many other projects. But personally, for me, it's just Bitcoin.
I really like this guy here. Sir, you are welcomed in the space anytime.
Well, it does bring up a point, though. Take the speculation out of it. What we're talking about is being debanked. That's maybe not a strong conversation in the ecosystem now, but if you're a Canadian, it's a little bit more important, and I think it's going to be more important for everybody coming up. Was once regulations come in, and you already hear the government's talking about using to monitor your transaction history, and so like everything's going to be blockchain makes everything transparent, right? So that's all fine until somebody says you're not allowed to utilize this platform to transact anymore. So where I see the potential long-term value in a network like Bitcoin is that peer-to-peer transaction that far too many people are ignoring and not really supporting that theory anymore, in my opinion.
Yeah, and I think like you have good points made. I know there's Clarity Act and all these things coming up. I just don't think you're going to see mass adoption or mass use of these until you see mass adoption. Like, why would you sell, even if you guys are in the XRP and it's what, $2 right now, and you think it's going to go to $10, $20? Why would you go buy a cup of coffee for it? And especially if you're going to pay capital gains on it, anything like that. Fiat, just go spend fiat. Like, why would you go? If I think Bitcoin is eventually in 10 years going to go to $1 million, why would I ever? I'll go spend a $5 bill on a coffee instead of spend and transact in Bitcoin. I mean, I think until you get capital gains regulation, if that ever comes, and you see mass adoption where the CAGR of these coins are going to go 10%, but if you have a 20, 30, 40% CAGR on these, why would you ever spend anything? That cup of coffee in 10 years, you'll look back and you spent $100 on a cup of coffee, or I've done that many times since 2018 where I spent $200 on something and look back and it's $10,000+ now or something. So it's kind of crazy. So I don't know, I'm biased obviously, but I just don't think people aren't using these to transact and send money back and forth, really. I mean, I know there's going to be people in the crowd that will say, yeah, I do, but just as a major use case, I think we're so far away from that. I think banks, ETFs, reserve assets, stuff like that will come, but day-to-day transaction, you have the peer-to-peer availability of it, but I just don't think, most people are just going to want to save for number go up.
Imagine spending $10,000, 10,000 Bitcoin on a pizza.
Well, there is the other side of it though, is for travel. Like I've been surprised, talking to people about blockchain, crypto, and I'm a guy in my 50s, and if I'm talking to somebody that's my senior in their 60s, 70s, in one instance in their 80s, I've been surprised a few times. Like, oh, yeah, I got Bitcoin. It's like, what? What do you mean? You're 80 years old, you got Bitcoin? Well, yeah. In their younger years, they had some significant wealth, and they traveled to Costa Rica every winter. Bitcoin is what made those trips successful, right? You can't just stuff a bunch of money in your pocket and wander into another country very easy. So there is that is part of it, and as governments roll out their own currencies and the stable coins and everything else, it is going to get harder to transact. So I see a use case for peer-to-peer, just exchanging value, whatever, network you might choose, as long as you can exchange that value freely. That's what I'm interested in.
Yeah, I think, and there's always the stories of like third world countries, or, even all the women that were fleeing out of Afghanistan. There's been a Bitcoin project, and I can't remember the name, that was helping people flee out of Afghanistan and, just memorize their seed word on Bitcoin and take all their money across borders and be fine. I think, for, Canada or the US, we don't run into, with the truckers issue during COVID, you do run into those about more use of privacy layers coming up on Bitcoin or other projects. Monero, you saw how these are supposed to stand outside the reach of government on-off ramps and still be able to flourish. But as of seeing Monero be banned, and then, I mean, even coins like Zcash kind of spiked up recently, but I think that was all kind of manipulation. But yeah, I think privacy layers, they do have some use case. You just don't see a ton of it right now. So.
Awesome. Great discussion. Everybody's welcome to come up. Creative Lab has joined the stage here. Welcome, Creative.
Hi guys. Hi everyone. Nice to see you. Nice spaces. Cool topic. Love it. Just a quick question to Jakes. What do you think about Bitcoin DeFi with stuff like Hermetica, or maybe Stacks, the Bitcoin layer 2 with its proof of transfer mechanism, and stuff like this? What do you think of it?
I personally don't know too much about DeFi on Bitcoin. I'm not deep down that road. So I don't think I could speak on it too much. I don't know if NTO or Chris or anybody has any opinion on that stuff.
An investment I have made for the future, if it does what we all hope it will do here for generations, for my kids, their kids, and so forth here. I mean, it's grown into a story. Something that you can use if you want to do that here. For me, I will not move mine out of my hardware wallet for no reason whatsoever, unless it gets to the point here where I'm absolutely devastated.
Is acquiring, or I say Bitcoin just because, so I hope that's not, rubbing anybody the wrong way, but I say Bitcoin. But so, I mean, these coins, you work hard enough for your money, you buy them, you transfer them to your cold storage. I mean, there's more ways to lose, what you've worked hard. There's more scams out there, more hacks out there. So just securing it long term is enough of a risk that I don't mess with.
In Satoshis. So it's not a protocol where you put your Bitcoin that you possess inside and risk.
Are they making that return to make that payout for everybody?
Yeah, that's a good question. It's a it's with the stacks staking mechanism where they buying up a certain amount of Bitcoin when having remember or SBTC, something like this. It's a stable coin that is minted with the underlying Bitcoin value as counter value for the stable coin that gets minted as liquid token.
How stable is a stable coin here? We all know what can happen to stable coins here, and there's so many that are being produced here. Again, like I say, I've worked very hard and everything to get to the position that I am with the holdings that I have here. Why would I screw around on some of these platforms, take more risk than I'm basically taking right now in regards to how to utilize my Bitcoin? To me, that's just not a safe. That's just not a safe thing or a smart thing for myself to do here. I can utilize other projects, other coins, other tokens that I have here.
The token's also the gas token, right? So it's getting used for transactions, so it's kind of a different outlook. So yeah, it's interesting to hear your guys' perspective on that and the difference in the mind of the holder. So yeah, it's good conversation.
Yeah, Chris, I just jumped in the space. So yeah, I mean, obviously, I've explained to them I'm just a Bitcoin guy, but just since it's your guys' space and everything, I know a little bit about XRP. And so, can you explain like what Corium is, just for me or anybody else that might not know what it is, just so I could understand what you guys.
But a lot of the key concepts like the native features, right? Smart token technology. It's all they use smart token technology, and the what you see the XRPL trying to work towards is pretty much Corium. and they built a bridge to the XRPL, the first bridge, two-way bridge on and off the XRPL. Developers building toys and widgets, I guess you can say, but team's definitely focused on that more enterprise use case. They've got a big partnership with the government of El Salvador with a VC fund through Cornest from the founders there, and yeah, just a lot of different value streams coming back to Corium here. My idea, kind of the same thing. I don't mind using Corium to interact with the ecosystem and utilize, but my idea is kind of like with the staking rewards is kind of that passive income to build up my Corium to a point where someday down the road, when it's maybe at a better price than it is now and more stable being used, that I don't have to touch my stack, and just the staking rewards come in is enough to bring profit of it down the road. So I'm not looking for the short spikes. I'm not looking to sell. I have no sell limits or anything like that. So yeah, it's kind of my long-term passive income approach. And so it's not lost on me the power of the technology and the idea behind it. And I'm kind of there in the ethos, and at the same time, just know that the world and the financial system is moving to this digital ledger technology, and yeah, just trying to find a place within that, I guess.
I think maybe also tell them what Corium was designed to do, Chris, in regards to tokenizing real-world assets and the partnership they have with Solotex here, which is first regulated brokerage in the United States here that is tokenized assets, real-world assets through Solotex here, which is going to be launching. There's going to be a soft launch here this month. So I mean, for me, that's what really got me going into it here. This idea of tokenizing real-world assets. I am into real estate. I've been talking about this, how to tokenize a piece of real estate here for 5 years, which is as long as I've been into this crypto space here. And now these things are actually coming to light here. So yeah. Corium for me is a huge game changer, I think, in the world of tokenized real estate, real world assets. That's one of the reasons I'm basically into this here, and I do my research pretty. I dive right into here. I mean, it took a while here for me to find Bitcoin from XRP here, but that is kind of taking care of itself here. I'm looking at what the next the guys here. But basically, I mean, you see so many platforms out there doing all these marketing gigs, and basically the stuff first here, and once it comes out here, then they will talk about it here, which I think is something refreshing.
Yeah, well, yeah, I didn't really expand on the sologenic part, but that's where it started, the tokenization platform there, and they've obviously expanded on it and brought the tools that were needed to take it to the next level. On-chain compliance is a big thing that obviously, definitely at the time, you couldn't do on the XRPL. The on-chain KYC and AML. The ability to put a smart contract on top of a smart token, so we can add the functionality that way. What's connected with the XRPL hasn't even been fully realized yet. Our token that we have for a rewards token for the Core Community DAO, it's able to flow over to the XRPL, and and so that's why I flat out asked him. So if I got a tokenized T-bill on the XRPL, can I bridge it to Corium? And they said yes, of course. But that KYC has to follow, and that's what the real world assets is really lacking right now. Is that I think that almost protocol, the standard protocol that everybody uses and recommends. There you can utilize the platform and what they want to get to currently.
Yeah, great discussion. Thank you.
I'm sorry.
Okay.
I just got a new phone, so I'm honestly trying to work with it now as I was listening to you guys speak. So it's been 20,000 things at one time, trying to get all my passcodes and everything back on this new phone, and they're making it difficult for me right now. But how's everybody doing?
Good. Thank you. How are you?
I'm all right. It's actually pretty cool to see other people coming in from different communities.
Yeah,
Oh, you know each other?
it was a friendly conversation, Devon. Yeah, it was just
Yeah.
it was totally friendly conversation. Just I was asking. They brought up some Bitcoin points, so I was just we were just having a good conversation around that, and then I was asking. I don't know anything about Corium, so Chris was going ahead and explaining it to me with the help of NTO and just seeing what else is people working on out there. So I'm curious. I'm obviously very biased towards Bitcoin. I don't buy or hold anything else. Bitcoin and Bitcoin proxies only, but I like trying to take my bias out and see at least what other people are building or working on. So yeah.
These are actually the people that onboarded me when I was out there looking for information on Corium Sologenic, just trying to see other things, doing exactly what you were doing. Chris and Articulate pretty much helped me fill in the gap. So definitely in the right environment to get information within the ecosystem for sure.
So, I mean, just to put it simply, is Corium really just a target market addressing going for RWA, like is real world tokenization, like the target market, and is real estate the hyper focus of it, or what? Just to narrow it down to maybe like, what's the exact target market Corium's going after?
So, if I may, hop in here. Yeah, so pretty much Corium is a third generation layer one. And as Chris and NTO stated, it was built out of the need to expand, what the XRP Ledger offers to enhance what the XRP Ledger can do and bring value to the ecosystem there. XRP Ledger was built specifically for tokenization, believe it or not, with IOU tokens and etc. The native DEX to begin with. So what the team at Solargenic did to build Corium, it was built specifically for tokenization. They're going to start with the stock market. And when we say stock market, it's not just 1, 10, 15, 100 stocks. It's the entire United States stock market. They're going to bring on chain in a regulated way. The first approval from FINRA. FINRA approved Texture Capital, which is the partner with Solargenic, to launch Solotex. So there's not many that have gotten that approval. I think there's one other entity, but the difference with tokenized stocks to begin, that Corium is bringing that on other chains don't offer right now, is the ability to have full rights. You're going to have it backed 1-to-1, right? But also full voting rights. You get your dividends. So it's just like holding a stock on chain. And it's going to be offered to the US market. All other solutions is offshore and it's synthetic. So that's the major difference. So holding they call it a stock token. That's the name of it. So when you hold a stock token, it's a smart token on Corium. And what smart token technology allows you to do is embed logic into the asset. So you can program the asset by when you're minting it, you could add logic to it that stays with it for the life of the asset. So yeah, you're able to do a lot of customization, whether you're doing something basic or institutional enterprise, add extended logic to it by adding an additional smart contract to that smart token. So you give it way more. So they have had ISO 222 compliant standard, the messaging standard embedded at the native level. And they have a simulator right now that's live that institutions can test. I know they had a pilot program going where they had a few institutions that were testing that, but pretty much there's not a lot of blockchains out there that has that messaging standard at the token level, at the blockchain level. They have other blockchains that have it in their flow where you can get it. Once you need to send that message, they have a solution for that, but at the blockchain token level, no. So it's one of the few or one of the only blockchains out there that's branded the Superledger that does a lot. So they're starting with the stock market, but the use cases go wherever you can tokenize whatever. So it's tokenizing everything starting with the stock market. They're going to have real estate. You're going to have hard assets like gold, silver. I know there's a company waiting to come on chain right now that's bringing tokenized gold in the near future to Corium. So there's going to start with the stocks, but everything pretty much that can be tokenized.
That'll be onboarded through USDC into Solotex too. So that'll be another nice feature for US residents. So hopefully it's allowed in Canada. Fingers crossed.
Nah, we never get that lucky, Chris. You know that.
Yeah. I'm getting reports of bad mic on my end, so sorry about that, everybody. I'm doing my best here. But
sounds good.
I'm not sure. Yeah, you sound clear.
Sounds perfectly clear. Yeah.
Oh, is that right? Interesting. Okay, good. Well, thank you everybody for joining us. We're streaming on Zora for the first time today, so interesting to see who from Zora finds their way to here. Make sure you drop a comment or a question. Share the space. This is this is the first full podcast that we use the Superledger Podcast X account for. So prior to now, it's been running under my account. So big change. So I'm glad many of you found your way here still. But yeah, please share the space. A lot of good value being exchanged here. Appreciate everybody's contribution.
And Chris, before you go, I know you're going to introduce Blue, but I want to point out what's happening here. So we had a Bitcoin discussion, we had XRP discussion, talking about Corium, but also this is being streamed on Base right now. So you don't get much multi-chain media than that right now in the space. So we're branching out. We're looking to be on more platforms, especially, but this is being streamed on chain right now as we speak. So I want to shout out to what's been happening. I know Solana just got integrated on the Base ecosystem. So, look out. There might be some utility use cases there with media and streaming and what we're doing with the podcast as well. So stay tuned. Chris, sorry about that. Just wanted to point that out.
No, that's all right. You're going to have to manage the stage. I'm actually rugged out. I don't even see Devon up here. So clearly there's some people up here I don't even see. So yeah, sorry, you're going to have to manage that.
Okay, yeah, no worries. I've been bringing people up, but you probably can't see Blue then. Blue to Black, I thank you for joining the stage. You have the Web3 Artist Awards coming up in the near future. You want to introduce yourself, tell us about that and where it's at right now?
Hi, everybody. Hi, Chris. And thank you for mentioning the judging form there earlier. Hi, Creative. And once again, thank you to the Corium community for, being such participants in the Web3 Artist Awards this year. Myself and Creative Lava, we went investigating just, how the statistics and the demographics and everything looks. And it really is so inclusive. After accumulating the judging form, at first I initially thought there's about 11 to 12 chains involved. And after the judging form, there are over 18 chains in the Web3 Artist Awards for this year. So that's more than I thought. So, and from those, the main participant is still Object Tezos, but then XRP and Corium is in second place. So XRP is second place, and then Corium is in third place, and then Ethereum is actually in fourth place. Believe it or not, we found brilliant this year. To overtake Ethereum is quite a challenge. Now everything started on Object with the award, so it's no surprise that Object is still the leading marketplace, but it dropped a lot. Last year there was over 80% of the nominees was from Object. This year there's 65%, so it dropped significantly from the numbers. And when it comes to global statistics, America and Canada, North America is still in the lead there, and then it goes to the Middle East, and then Europe, and then the rest of the world. But every continent is involved. So every continent is involved. We have literally loads of people from the Middle East. We have loads of people from all over the shop. So I'm absolutely just proud to sit here. We have 1 week until the Web3 Artist Awards. We will be looking for presenters and performers now next. That's kind of like on the roadmap at the moment. And I definitely need you to be assisting in the judging. So the judging this year, I didn't go out and look for judges. I wanted the Web3 community to get to know the artist, for you to pick the celebrities that you will be following. Why would you want the judge to tell you what to like? Why don't you make your own choice? What's the best of the best? And in order to do that, I didn't release any of the links of the Web3 Artist Awards because I wanted you to go and have a look at some of the brilliant talent that is being represented. I want you to go and support the Corium chain. I want you to go and support the XRP chain if you want, but definitely be honest. Be honest in the talent that are being represented there. There's definitely a lot more judging kind of needed in terms of rating, in terms of, just really kind of being truthful about the results there. And for that, I definitely need all of you. It's not going to take a long time, and you will definitely be entertained. There are, music videos, AI music from YouTube. There are film categories. There are animations, traditional, digital. There's absolutely anything that you can like. And get to know these artists, write down the Twitter handle if you really want and go and follow those people. They are brilliant. I guarantee you that. To have such great talent present in one spot is a night to be remembered. Chris was there last year. He was a presenter at the awards, and Creative was just kind of tagging along. I saw him there. And, it was the night of the year. It really was the night of the year. I do not need to tell you that, but if you miss out on this event, you've missed out on the greatest event for our community than what this ecosystem has to offer. It is your history being recorded there. It is the people that you know, that you've met through the spaces, that you probably meet on a daily basis that will be represented there. You've voted, you've nominated them, you voted for them, so go and celebrate them. This is, there. We are basically on the last lap now. I've just released the X space for the event. And, just do it. Just be there, even if you didn't vote, even if you didn't nominate, just be there. I guarantee you, your community will be appreciating your presence. Thank you, Chris. Thank you, Creative. And thank you to the Corium community there. I know this handle, Superledger, is now a new one. I'll give you a follow there. So, yes, nothing more to say than we are there. Now it's time to celebrate.
It's amazing update. Thank you very much. That is some profound growth in all aspects there from last year. And it's just a testament to the work, the endless work that you've put into it. I know Lucas has definitely helped you a lot along the way, and others too. But I know you put a lot into this, Blue. So the results are speaking for itself. So congratulations. That's some great growth. Happy to see. I couldn't be happier to hear that I've gone to 18 different chains this year. That's huge, and the new benchmark to grow on next year. So good stuff. Happy to hear that. And anybody that's wanting to present, by all means, reach out to me. That is definitely my focus between now and then, is lining up those presenters. Or if you want to perform too, there's plenty of talented artists in our community. We can certainly get you to who you need to speak to for that also. So thanks for the update. Sorry, I don't see you up here, but I'm sure happy to hear your voice and have that update.
Could you repeat the details, maybe day and time, so people could set it in their calendars, please?
Okay, I will definitely post that in the speech bubble there now as well. I just wanted to say one last thing. If you look at the Web Artists Awards space, that where we promoted the nominees, there are over 18,000 people that looked at that post, that looked at you, the artists that are being represented in that. So even without having an awards ceremony, we've already had success. We've already promoted the artists that are participating in this without even going a step further. You've already benefited. You've already gained more recognition than any one of us can achieve on your own. You've been recognized by the entire art world on X being a nominee. So even without the awards, you have won. You have gained recognition. You have gained brand recognition. So yes, and it wasn't all me. It was impossible for me to do it this year without Creative. You have been a rock for me to do this. And last year there wasn't a single Corium or XRP, nominee. And this year you guys made it possible. So, I really believed in this community when I first set my feet here in this place, and I got a really warm welcome from Chris. And then Chris became involved in it. Creative was supposed to be involved in the first year, but the second year he really pushed some weight. Now, it is those things that makes this a success. It is how you are highlighting and pushing your community forward to be represented and celebrated. That is the purpose of this. So next year, I expect to see a doubling of the XRP and RIM community, and that's a fact.
Great job. Super job. Now
Yeah,
I
and
see that. Oh, sorry. Go ahead, Chris.
oh, I was just going to finish off Articulate's question there. The words December 12th and 13th, so it's coming right up here. The first day is the first time we've actually had the AI Film Festival, so I'm excited to check that out. And then the second day is obviously the main award show. So it's a nice little show last year. I think it went about 6-7 hours, I think, Blue. But so much value in between there, the stories, the performers, meeting the artists, hearing about their journey. It was yeah, some of the best 8 hours I probably spent on X since I've been on here. So really looking forward to next week's show.
Now I see
got
that. I see that BRW has come in here. I wonder if BRW want to come out to the stage here. Wouldn't mind to know what you have, what you're seeing on the charts here. BRW is kind of the TA guy. I've been giving a lot of good information over the last since I've met him. So yeah, it would be really nice to have you up here, BRW, and see what you see in the charts for going into Christmas and into the beginning of the new year.
I'm sorry. Before we go to BRW, I think Blue was responding. Just finish up your thought real quick, and then we could go to BRW. Thank you.
Oh, no, thank you for that. I was just saying that, Chris, you were spot on. Just hearing some of those people, kind of giving you feedback on, winning. There was this guy being an artist for his entire life, 50 years being an artist. And then he finally won an award last year. And, I will never, ever forget that speech that guy gave about being an artist his entire life and then getting a recognition from the Web3 Artist Awards. And maybe it's you next. Maybe you think, you're not that great, and then all of a sudden you win a prize. But yes, thank you.
Yeah, thanks, Blue. And there's several nominees in the room here, so make sure you check out that form and go through and see what they've done to get themselves nominated. There's many talented people just in this room. So yeah, appreciate everybody getting involved and engaged, and yeah, very proud. The results speak for themselves. So yeah, appreciate all the work the team's doing there, Blue and Creative and Lucas, and yeah, it's a Web3 organization. That's the other cool part about it. It's completely just open to people who want to contribute, and that's much like most of the communities and projects many of us are involved in. It's there if you want to just sit back and enjoy. Well, that's possible, but if you want to just roll up your sleeves and get in, there's no barriers to that. Your contributions, your ideas, everything, it's all welcome and valuable. So yeah, plenty of ways to get engaged. So make sure you use this week wisely and get prepared for the show ahead. And sorry, I'm still not seeing the whole screen. I don't see BRW here. So, but if you are here, BRW, please go ahead.
Hey, how are you guys doing today?
Good. I think I saw the charts respected your levels you gave the last time closely enough.
Yeah, so far it's been very interesting. At the same time, short-term nail biter, right? So I always start off with Solo when I compare Solo and Corium together. So when you see, I'll give you kind of like one idea that I've noticed here. When you see Solo, let's say last night it dropped to 1 cent, but Corium is holding, or if anything, it's green. That's just telling you some individual is probably selling and it's nothing to worry about. It's just going to like pop back up here momentarily, right? Because when the market has these independent moves where one coin just drops, that's not a sign to worry. Which you worry when everything else is dropping together, right? And then inversely, you're optimistic when everything's moving up together. So that's one of the key signs that you can use. So again, I'll give you guys some numbers. I'm sure if you guys are all curious, because structure is very important. And so, Solo and Corium are hand in hand. I have to look at these two together, right? So if I look at short term, I'm looking at Sologenic at 17 cents, right? So I'm looking at this, and it's been holding this level very well. Last night it went 16.2, and then it came back up 17.1. That's good. Now, if you look at Corium, same thing. You just want to hold 7 cents. So as long as you're holding that, this is good signs. And again, there's some news coming out here on December 9th, 10th, which we have the Fed announcement, which is going to be a very interesting time because we do expect, and this is very important for the market as a whole, by the way. So we do expect a 25 basis point cut, right? So I think that's already like 90% that's going to happen, right? And so with that, we don't know yet, but we're trying to see if we're going to have any hint of QE to come into 2026. If they do announce any hint of quantitative easing, which is an outpouring of liquidity, an injection of liquidity into the market at full force, which they are subtly sort of doing with just the end of QT, right? We haven't started QE, but we did end QT, so quantitative tightening. So the absorption of liquidity has ended. So that's a good sign. That means that coins right now are just consolidating as a whole, and we shouldn't see prices go down. And that's why I'm very optimistic with these prices holding right now. They're just waiting. They're just consolidating. Another indicator is X. Look at the engagement in X. It's one of the lowest, not historically low, but it is one of the lowest. 3 times, 2018 low, 2022 low, and then current low, right? So this just tells you that in a sense, we have just been through the last year, we have been in a hidden bear market. There are signs that show that this hidden bear market, and we see that in Corium's price. We see altcoins. We can even see that with Sologenic, but it's a very unique type of bear, right? Not just a full-on force with the whole market, but Bitcoin was that distraction as it was going up. You had the altcoins just suffer for the most part, but some of them did it in a very structurally healthy way, which it needed to flush things out. So overall, if by the way, I know I'm talking a little bit here, but if there's anything else you guys want me to talk about as far as price action, I can talk to you about a little bit about a forecast here on what I see for Solo and Corium if you guys want me to.
Oh yeah, for sure. Seems like in the charts there's some upward momentum today. So if you have some insight, that would help.
So since, if you guys remember, October 10th, we had that big leverage crash, and that was an event that just triggered all of these leverage positions, and so liquidated them. And then obviously we're in this next phase, which is called the test phase. It's a testing of supply. It's an institutional way of absorbing the supply from the remaining hands out there. And so obviously, if you're truly convicted, if your conviction is strong with the project, right, then that's a good thing. It means you're a long-term holder. You're smart money. They're not going to pull that. They're not going to extract any of that supply out of you. But for, like I said, since the X engagement is so low, a lot of people are priced out in a sense that they don't have any more money to invest, or they're just holding, or they're liquidated in a sense where they're just kind of done, right? That's a good sign. These are all great signs. So I do think that somewhere after this Fed announcement, we're going to start pivoting up. I think we're going to have a good 20-30% jump here this month for everything. I'm looking at XRP, which has definitely looked like it's bottomed. Sologenic, Corium, definitely look like it's all bottom. Don't get distracted about Bitcoin. We do not expect Bitcoin to break its all-time high in 2026. That's reserved for a later situation. So for Sologenic and Corium, the targets right now, and I'm trying to calculate wave 3, right? Because we have a wave 1, which is your Trump rally, your wave 2, which has been this last brutal year, right? And then now wave 3 is supposed to be a much more impulsive, stronger. So you have higher percentages, you're going to have higher targets. And remember, the market is very irrational. So people are like, well, how could this price target hit for Corium like around $10 or for Sologenic $60 in the year 2026, like I'm expecting? Well, the same reason as when it goes down, the market is very irrational, longer than you can stay solvent. And the same way is going to work in the positive direction, right, in the bull run. So when we start the bull run, I do expect to see a lot of irrational price behaviors where people are going to take profit too early. And then at some point, we're going to have that irrational exuberance where at some point we're going to create a bubble and we're going to start the official bear market. But I don't see any official bear market. And by official, I mean the whole market, everything, Bitcoin included with the altcoins. So I'm still seeing these big targets. And I'll end on this last point if you guys are interested. I see for the total market cap, I can't say it, market cap, we'll just say market cap, for the others, which is excluding the top 10 coins, our target extension is around a $1.34 trillion market cap. Okay, that's just based on charting, structural health, cup and handle. And so our target conservatively is $1.34 trillion. So if you take the math, and I've shared this with other people, if you take 1%, let's say 2.5%, or I'm sorry, 1% for Corium, 1.5% for Sologenic, out of that 1.34 trillion, a lot of numbers, sorry. That right there gives you these prices that I just told you about: $60 Solo, $10 Corium, and the market cap is around 20 billion for Solo and about 10 billion for Corium. And these are adjusted for inflation and all these things. So they're very practical numbers. They're very rational numbers. If anything, they're extremely conservative numbers. So yeah, absolutely, we're going to see that. And I do believe we're extremely undervalued. So, I would say prepare for that. And as a valuation investor, I really see big numbers for these coins because they haven't been priced in. And you're looking at pricing in 3 different ways: one through organic buying, one through you're going to have like a bubble effect at some point, and then the other one is because of the the tokenization that hasn't been priced in. So the tokenization is going to bring in a lot of price valuation, and then the last one is the dollar. The dollar is about to lose a lot of its value. And that is going to translate to all trading pairs that are paired against the dollar. So you will see that in 2026 because obviously QT, I think it may be at the end of 2026 because it takes some time. But yeah, these are things I'm just telling you to be very optimistic about. I'm not at all stressed out about it, So hopefully, I know that was a big spiel, but I really wanted to give everybody all that information just to stay optimistic on what I see.
Thank you, man, Chris.
Yeah, that's bang on. Appreciate it. Do you track the M2 supply at all, and any comment on any divergence or correlation there?
I did. Unfortunately, the M2 money supply has been very inaccurate lately, and I mostly will track liquidity, global liquidity as a whole. So that's why I think QE is more important to me than the M2 money supply. Obviously, we're going to want to cut interest rates as much as we can, and then at some point we're going to want to see a pause because the markets, they kind of go more full force once you have a pause, rather than it just continuously descending. So with the M2 money supply, yeah, there's some correlation to it, but not enough for me to have like full conviction because there's a lag, and I would look more towards yeah, just global liquidity as a whole, and just see how much more injection we're going to get from the whole global side, rather than on the Fed side, as one indicator. So yeah, I don't really use that indicator as much, or I don't put full reliance on it.
Awesome. Appreciate it. Anybody wants to come up and discuss that further? Floor is open. I can't quite see the floor, I don't think. So I'll trust Articulate's managing that. But floor is open. Everybody's welcome to come up. I'm hoping we still got a couple validators here. I was hoping to get into a validator discussion too, if there's still a few around.
I'm here.
Oh yeah, Devon is here. So for easy, he left. Yeah, we got a couple in here. See DJ and Queen. Shout out to
Okay,
you.
good. Well, yeah, I was hoping to stimulate some discussion on what the validators have been presented. It's after the last few proposals for changes, lots of governance issues lately. Some discussion on the validators kind of getting together and coming up with some solutions to present. And Cosmos Rescue, I think, put up some good ideas and some others. But what I wanted to point out is some of the ideas. I think it's important that we hear a lot of narratives around these issues kind of get recycled, reused, but there's some good ideas in here that I think are worth getting out for people to discuss and build on and massage. So yeah, Devon, I'd be happy to hear your input on some of these, but Cosmos Rescue put out some measurable criteria. This is ideas to help balance delegation, distribution, and just overall chain management here. So rewarding validators with good uptime. Obviously, it's an important part of a blockchain. Commissions, having a range of commission fees, because they can range anywhere. It's soon going to be a 5% minimum, so we'll have an established floor, but they can be higher. Governance participation, that's a big one for me. I think should be part of the criteria. So an example would be like 7 of the last 10 proposals. And that's if you use Smart Stake Analytics, that's a feature that can be tracked easily by anybody in the community. And like I said, it helps filter out a lot of validators objectively, right? Just by pure stats. But and you can add things like community involvement, tooling, engineering, public tools, relaying wallets, videos, content tutorials, contributions, stacks, posts, spaces, etc. as other metrics, right? So it's I think it's good for the community to talk about and these ideas. It helps our overall governance and helps show that the validators are here trying to bring improvements to what clearly the community's been addressing as a problem. So yeah, I was just kind of curious if you had any thoughts on that, Devon, and if you think some of those changes might bring some value if properly proposed.
So, because again, I kind of got a little bit confused. Are you basically saying like, how do I feel about the recent amendments as far as like certain things, as far as like you were saying, rewarding people uptime, some of the things that people have been talking about, as far as what do I think the pros and cons of those situations would be? Is that what you're asking?
Well, just more about the suggestions about ways to bring more balance to the delegations, not just from the team, but just the overall staking. Just to bring, I guess, some value that way. I guess encourage validators to become more active as far as education. I think a lot of the problems in our ecosystem that we get into and we see in these repeated governance proposals is lack of information. Informed ideas, right? So I just think there's an opportunity for more validators to get more engaged as far as getting involved in governance, right, and explaining like this is the proposal, this is why I vote. Like you do a very good job. You're very active, and several validators are, but many aren't. So I was just wondering what you thought about the proposed metrics for how a validator might get scored overall, and moving forward. I think that brings community value too, just to kind of see how validators rank on a bunch of metrics other than just the block time, maybe specifically.
I think that's actually a very valuable metric, because I think that if I'm somebody, and I'm trying to look at it from 2 points of view, I'm obviously trying to look at it from a point of view as somebody who's running a validator, but I'm also always looking at everything as somebody who's just a regular community member. And as a regular community member, I would like to support somebody who's actually actively participating and trying to keep the network afloat. And I think that that's one of the things that has hindered the Corium community so far, is the community participation. I think that a lot we rely on the top people of the network, and I think that having this scoring system will help bring a lot of the power back to the individuals and help people participate more. I think it's a great start. I think we haven't done well in the past at bootstrapping the network, and I think some of the amendments, with enough time and sitting back and thinking about it, will actually help bootstrap it moving forward. So I'm actually very pro having these new scoring things within the ecosystem. I think it would encourage people to participate more, because if I'm a validator and I have a low score, well, then that might incentivize people to stake with my validator. So obviously, as a validator, you want to incentivize more people delegating with you. So I think this is a net positive for sure.
Yeah, absolutely. Especially the governance participation. To me, that's just a key one. If you're running a validator on the network, I mean, that's one of the key functions of the validator, is to participate in governance. So, I mean, if you're not, to me, that's just a big cause for concern. Like, why are you here if governance isn't a concern at all, right? So you always have the ability to abstain if you don't want to weigh in on an issue directly. So to not vote at all, to me, is a disservice. And I mean, things happen. It's not to say you have to have a perfect record, you know what I mean? But like you said, at least 7 out of the last 10 is not too much to ask for somebody that's validating on a network, if you're hopefully paying attention to it.
This is some of the same issues that the UNL list was having, right? Michael Eriting is known for not participating, right? And that has actually hindered the development of the ecosystem of the XRPL. And I don't think that we want to bring those same habits over here, right? Participation is a huge thing. And I try to encourage everybody, not just the validators, but the community members, please participate, vote. Like, I understand that a validator votes on your behalf, but you vote first, right? So a lot of the encouraging healthy habits to get people involved and participating, I'm always going to support that, because that's something that we have seriously lacked. And I think it's simply just due to educational purposes. I think a lot of people are uninformed at what they can do within their own personal selves. And it's really, really breathtaking how important these steps are to have a thriving ecosystem.
Yeah, and that's one thing that separates us very clearly from the XRPL and their governance. There's the UNL list. That's your vote, the validator's vote. You, as a community member, an XRP holder, don't have any say in that process. So, you can say, well, that the situation got to where it did. What can we do about it? But the thing that's different here is every Corium token holder, no matter, if you have it staked, that's your voice. You have the power not to allow that to happen to our network. So, that's the big difference. There's no reason we should find ourselves in that position.
I definitely agree.
Yeah, I'm really encouraged. I think, we could argue, was it bootstrapped properly? Yes, no, could have been done better, maybe. But at this point, I'm actually very encouraged on where we're sitting, with the upcoming launch of Solotex. I mentioned earlier in show there's a new hire for marketing there with Andrew. So, governance seems to be coming
did you say
along.
Andrew just got hired for marketing?
What's that?
Did you just say Andrew got hired for marketing?
Yeah. Yeah.
When was this?
You know what Andrew
I don't
did?
know when. I just know it happened. I asked if he's officially here, and he said, yeah. He gave me a little bit of a bio on his past, and yeah, he's here. So yeah, I'm really encouraged with where we are. I think as a community and an ecosystem, and I'm encouraged by the discussion on governance. And it's unfortunate that some tensions maybe had to come to a head to get some change. But I'm encouraged by the validators kind of stepping up and offering some solutions, because it's easy for anybody to come up with an idea. And I said that to somebody. I mean, it's easy to have ideas. It's put the code up and make it happen is where it makes a difference, right? So that's where I think it's the responsibility of the validators and the combination of working with the team to say, like, here's some ideas that can work, that can present to the community with the information to support it, to make some change, right, and bring these proposals about properly. So I'm starting to see that formulate, and I'm really excited about that. So time that with these other things, yeah, pretty exciting times.
That just really made me happy to hear that Andrew just got picked up for marketing.
So do you know Andrew well? Like, I'm just coming to learn of Andrew.
Wait,
but
what Andrew are you talking about?
I was going to ask if you know what Andrew
I just thought about that.
yeah, well, now I'm gonna have to. I'm just gonna look so I don't make a mistake here, because then they'll be in trouble. Get it wrong and get some Andrew out there in trouble there. But
You just hired a new quarantine. I'm just kidding.
yeah, well, and there's still Mike said that there was 10 new hires. So I mean, there's definitely still some ones to be discovered out there. But Andrew Hampshire is director of growth marketing.
I see Yonder in the space.
No, I thought you were talking about Andrew DeVilbus. We went on his show, me and L1.
Andrew. No, yeah, we had Andrew on the show here too. No, Andrew. I think Devon, if you look into Andrew Hampshire, you'll be quite pleased. And
can you inbox me his name or his profile?
Chris, you wanna go again with the bio? It's probably help new people in the crowd.
Yeah, sure. He's formerly the head of ecosystem for Tron, senior growth at Avalanche. He's currently an advisor for the Cointelegraph Accelerator and has worked with most of the larger L1s in the space in one capacity or another, but always focused on growth. So he's here working with our community, and I couldn't be more excited. Many in the community have been crying for some voice in the marketing, and just look at his profile and his background, and listen to a few of his past spaces. I'm really encouraged and excited to see what he brings to our ecosystem.
Hey, could you send me his name again so I don't forget?
Yeah, I can do, for sure. I'm just bad at multitasking when I'm talking.
Mm-hmm.
That sounds like a proper roadmap right there. It sounds like they are definitely getting ready to steam up a road show for sure.
Yeah. Lots of catalysts coming for the ecosystem. Exciting times ahead. I think next year is going to be a huge year in general, as I think BRW said, we went through, I'd call it a beer moment. It's not a full beer market, but I think there's going to be a lot to celebrate with adoption and just acceleration of this tech. You see AI becoming more predominant in society, and we'll use blockchain rails. And outside of institutions, I think AI is going to be one of the utility that does most transactions in general. So that's going to, have a big effect on the networks and the growth and adoption, for sure.
Yeah, sorry, I said it's Andrew Hemingway, Devon. I sent you his profile there on X.
Got a deep dive tonight now. You gave me something to deep dive.
Yeah, I haven't done it myself. Yeah, just like I said, I'm just pleased. It's a sign that the teams obviously listen to the community and wants something with the marketing and growth done, and we got a new voice to do that. So that's the exciting part for me. We'll keep doing what we do, and I'm sure you'll keep doing what you do, and every bit helps. Appreciate the growth in the community. We're seeing it grow. We're seeing more people having spaces and talking about Corium, and more XRPL community looking over here, seeing what we did. Fortunately, the Cosmos ecosystem is getting a little thinned out over there. It's interesting to watch what's developing there, but yeah, it's good. We're in a great position. Corium's in that hub right in the middle of it all. So
Yeah, I want to give a special shout out to Yanda in the building. She's doing a lot in this space on different fronts, but especially with one of her more recent achievements, she has been selected as a delegate for Women of Color in Blockchain at the 6th Annual Congressional Briefing in Washington, D.C. on December 10th. Yeah, right outside the U.S. Capitol, right inside the U.S. Capitol, sorry. So shout out to Yanda and the amount of work and time and effort that you've been putting into building the Genius Room and all the different parts of the ecosystem there that benefits all of us. As you see, she's sitting in the rooms, having the discussions with the people making the decisions. And, with Yonder in the space, and she's been an advocate, supporter of the Superledger podcast. That's our representation. That's our voice right there where the decisions are being tabled and made. So shout out to you. Anyway, we can support, we're here. But yeah, keep it up, man. You keep inspiring what we're doing here as well. And, looking forward to the results of what happens in 3 days and the report you will have, and how much further this takes it, because I do think we're in that turning point for crypto, for blockchain. It's being presented on the tables and plates, and on the screens of institutions and decision makers of the highest caliber. And it's kind of on the launch phase, right, where it's being shopped around, not necessarily in that way, but it's use cases, networks that are good for particular reasons are being scouted out and tested, pilot programs running. And David Schwartz put it best recently. He said that from here on out, and then maybe a year or two is where the institutions are being onboarded, and from there you'll see after that they build their products, their use cases, and they offer to the public. That's where the mass adoption retail starts to come back in. So yeah, it might be a big institutional play as they go through, vet these different networks and communities. This is a bigger part of my whole thing is the community plays just as much importance as the tech. One, not just to speak about it and to help push it, but to utilize it and to benefit from it as well. These things solve real world issues. And as we have been kind of in the test phase and the pilot program overall for blockchain over the past 13 years or so, we know it more than anyone else, and we have been the ones that gave the feedback to the networks, to the teams, to help fine tune this so the institutions can have more solid tech, more solid community support to utilize and to tap into. So there is huge value in community, and the networks. It's a relationship that's symbiosis. Like, it's network push the community, community push the network, and it just scales up as it grows. And shout out to what you're doing, Yanda, for this space, and good to have you in the network.
Couldn't agree more. Couldn't agree more. I sat in on one of her spaces here. I think it was the one yesterday morning. Powerful stuff. Always a engaging conversation in her groups there in her spaces. So yeah, and sitting at a table. Like I said, she's had conversation with Hester Pierce. I don't know who more you'd want to have a conversation with these days than Hester Pierce when it comes to crypto policy in the United States of America. So yeah, hats off to her. She's killing it out there, and she's all over the place. Man, she's getting awards and delegate status and showing like, geez, I don't know how she does it. I need the same coffee she's got. That's for sure. Appreciate everybody that's joined us here today at our new Superledger Podcast account we're hosting from, streaming on YouTube and Zora at the same time. And that is going to be expanding. Flix.fun media node is near. I'm told I should expect to have mine at least in a trial version before release come the end of this month. So it's coming. I was hoping to have it here in time for the Web3 Artist Awards, but not quite. But nonetheless, Flix.fun is a great place to set up a page for yourself, a landing page, a web page, if you're a creator, a project, a validator, personal, if you want to use it as a Pinterest page, a fan page. There's so many use cases. It's free. It doesn't cost you anything. You get 50 megabytes of free storage on there, so you can post plenty of links and widgets up there. But there's going to be ways to expand that here soon enough. But yeah, a lot of value there. So make sure you check that out. Make sure you give the X account a follow there so people know that the Superledger Podcast X account's legit. And it's going to be what we're using every week moving forward. So appreciate everybody. Give it a follow, turn the notifications on, and maybe we'll run a little contest or something here in the week ahead to get the follower count moved over to that account also there. But thank you to those that have, and thank you to those that have joined us here and shared the space. We really appreciate the support.
Yeah, and this is a multi-chain stream happening right now, multi-platform. On YouTube, we are on X, and we're on Zora, which is on Base network. So we're streaming on-chain live right now. And Base just got integrated with Solana. So I'm looking forward to see what expansion we could do media-wise to get the word out each week that we broadcast. And, Corium's present in all of this. So, as we become one chain, I always stress that, like, this is the blockchain technology, and you see the integrations happening time after time, but we're going to get to the point where they all speak to each other. We're all, one. And, there's going to be more power there. You could choose how fast you want to go, what price you want to pay, but you're going to have choices. But this is the beginnings of it, and happy that the tech is here, that we can stream media across platforms, across chain networks. And, when we do have media solutions natively here, and, onwards, we're going to be there as well. But they just wanted to point that out as well. We're on chain streaming right now. Creative Lava.
Yeah, thank you for letting me on the stage one more time. I just wanted to remember everyone regarding the Web3 Artist Awards. Our friend Bibi was so nice 2 days ago to work together with me to finish the badges for all the participants that Blue, our big boss, has minted for all of us. So those that are nominated, those that were nominating, those that present, and everyone else that is participating, please check your Tezos wallet, guys. You have received a nice badge. With a title. If you have been a nominator, you received a nominator NFT for free. It has a transparent background we just used the border of the PFP size from your the Twitter accounts. So please, maybe rock the title, regardless if you are a nominee, a nominator, a presenter. Rock it, okay? Rock it until the finals, and yeah, show the world that you have been part of this fantastic party that we will all together rock next Saturday, December 13th. Finals are waiting for you. Articulate is nominated for Best Meme Coin. Let me see who is also here from the nominees. I don't know all of them. Core Easy, my friend. You are also nominated, as I have seen. So please use this badge. Make your PFP a little nicer with this little badge that you have received, at least until the finals. And let's have a big party next Saturday, okay? Thank you so much. Bye, guys.
Yeah, that's a great reminder, Creative. Appreciate that. I'm going to be changing mine here to later today. I'm going to add it to I'm going to change mine back to my Corium Concepts one and add that to it for the next week. So yes, let's dedicate the next week to our artists. There's so many in our community, whether you're here for the token speculation or the NFTs or the art, or these awards encompass it all. AI art, coding, platforms, marketplaces, artists, poets, photographers, spoken word, musicians. It runs a gamut. So we all know somebody in there. It's a great opportunity to go find some new artists and go through the judging process and discover them. These are the people that the communities have put forward. Like you said, 18 different communities. So no, that's a great reminder. Let's just dedicate this next week. I know myself, and I'm sure Creative, this week the Web3 Artist Award is going to be top of our mind, but let's really use that week to think about all the work the artists put in behind the scenes, all the creating to roll out that product for us, or for our blockchain, or for an NFT community, whatever it is. So lots of ways to support them here this week, and that was just one of them. So no, it's good. We'll work towards winding here down here. Been a great show today. Lots of varied discussion. One thing on my list I want to highlight again is Q4 snapshot for Corium Community DAO stakers is coming up December 21st. So if you're not staking the Corium Community yet, and you're considering it, you might want to do so before the 21st, when the next CCD rewards distribution comes out. And it's 1 year, since that started. It'd be a year ago December since the first one. So there's going to be a 1 year bonus drop included with this year. So lots of exciting things ahead. Appreciate everybody, the many people that have supported this journey and supported bringing value to Corium Community DAO and therefore the overall Corium ecosystem. That's what we do with our validation commissions or validator commissions is, create value, figure out, ways to bring different ways to engage the community, to educate the community. So that's what it goes for. So when you stake with Corium Community DAO, that's what your fees are going towards. And then on top of that, you're getting pretty good APYs, and especially if you're restaking in that too. I think it takes every 2 hours. So, so there's a lot of returns there still for the staker too. So, but yeah, education. That's what it's all about. It takes a community to really embrace the importance of that and rally around it to make it effective. So many of the people that show up here week in, week out and tune in the replays are part of that. And we thank you for that, and really excited for the next year to take it to the next level. Articulate.
Yeah, shout out to Lassie. He just joined. Flix.fun has a bright 2026 ahead, and there's a lot cooking in the ecosystem. and being shipped and built. So as they transition out of OmniFlix into Flix.fun, moving from the Cosmos into the Base ecosystem. And as I said multiple times today, Base just got integrated with Solana. So there's going to be a lot of opportunity cross-chain happening. So look out for what Flix.fun is building. And they are live every Wednesday. It's 9 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. And you can join and learn more about what fun is. Have fun on chain. They have home pages, which is customizable landing platform for whatever you're doing, all in one. You could put all your links together in a very nice, presentable way there, and have that as your point of contact, where you can curate it in the way you like. So instead of having limitations, you have your widgets there that showcase exactly who you are, what you're about, and it points everybody to a thing. So instead of having a link tree where it's just links, you have media, that you can present, have it set up in a nice, pleasant way for whatever you're doing. It doesn't have to be you. You could be a fan of a music artist or sports fan. You could have a fan page set up for them that you help celebrate the things you like. It doesn't have to be you don't have to be a creator to capitalize on this, and you do foresee a lot of creators tapping into what they can do. As Chris said, media nodes are going to be coming soon, where you can have added memory and also be able to have your media stream, on chain. So looking forward, man. It's exciting to see just what's happening at this moment in time with this tech. And, shout out to Sysland team for being some of the pioneers building out some of the futuristic use cases of this. I'm looking forward, man, to interactive media on Base. It's going to be wild when you perceive and being able to, use these tools for whatever you're doing. It's mind blowing what they did. I've witnessed, I've used it, and it's going to be much more mind blowing when they can actually do a lot of the things they were restricted from doing before. So I'm strapped in and ready for that. So yeah, shout out to the builders in the space. And yeah, another successful week, great discussion. We kind of had a mixture of everything this week. We talked about a little of everything. And yeah, that's what we tend to do, bring value. It doesn't have to be just Quorium. It doesn't have to be just blockchain, but what we do is to curate discussions, whatever is building in this space. Doesn't have to be something blockchain related, but if it ties in, we love to hear it. We love to expand about it and learn. Our goal is to educate, and it comes in different shapes and form. So I love to learn. That's how kind of got my name Articulate. I like to learn. I like to feed my mind and to actually share what I've learned. So that's how I became a part of this venture with Superledger Podcast and being a voice in this space. And we're going to see the value of this maybe 10, 15 years from now. It may seem repetitive and may seem small and niche right now, but when it becomes the norm and lifestyle for everybody in the world, and you were some of the people who helped mint some of the ideas that help shape that reality for people, you're going to see what that impact that has. But right now we're in the trenches building, being that voice, being that probably sight and foresight for people who can't grasp a lot of the things that's happening. There's a lot happening, and sometimes it takes a while to sit down and to digest and to kind of understand for yourself before you even share that information to general public. But yeah, I see a bright future ahead, especially for those who have been building in a compliant, safe, positive, forward-thinking way. Not the people who are here extracting value, but the people who are bringing value. I think there's going to be space for all those people at the table. And looking forward to share that meal with everybody when that time comes. Yeah, that's going to be me for this week.
Yeah,
Chris?
no, I'll just expound on what you said there a little bit. Yeah, like what we've done here since the start of Corium Community DAO is bridge communities, right? Much like Corium's bridging the XRPL, the Cosmos, we were trying to do that. Well, not trying. I think we've been very successful with bridging the XRPL and the Cosmos ecosystem with Corium. We've done that, you know, in different directions and different ecosystems. So this is another one, and it couldn't have been better timing, because many that followed me since the start know that proof of work transaction fees have always been a thorn in my side that I just didn't even understand. But luckily for us, my whole experience going over to Base has all been done through my Leap wallet, what I've had for my Corium for years already. And it's been a very user-friendly experience. But not just that, just this past week, Ethereum did a very major scaling upgrade that has dropped the fees significantly. So I'll be honest, the Ethereum fees aren't really a thing, at least for what I've done over there. It doesn't mean it never would be. I guess I'm not too sure, but I know there's a pretty significant change. But yeah, it's been interesting to go over there and look around over on Zora and the Base ecosystem. Creator economy is very active there. And the tools to onboard are key. And the two ones that really stood out, I mentioned them both today, is one you're just talking about, Flix.fun. I actually watched somebody onboard to Web3 all by themselves. I didn't say a word, and they don't even know they're on Web3, and that's by using Flix.fun. They have no idea. The only thing that I see that they kind of looked at was they didn't really understand what it was, but they knew what to do, was signing the transaction. Just approving a transaction. They didn't know what its purpose was, but they just hit the approve button and boom, they were up and running. So to me, that's what we need to do. That's what we need to see, is tools like that, so that not everybody wants to come in here in Web3 like we do. But the tools are very powerful, and they're going to want to use them. They're going to need to use them. And this is how you do it. They don't need to know. And this is a great example of that. There's somebody onboarding to Web3 and not even understanding that they've done it. Another powerful tool this release I encourage you to check out is the new Anodos wallet on the XRPL. They have a challenge out, a contest. Can't remember what the prize money is, but is how quick can you set up a wallet on the XRPL? I think the quickest is 9 seconds. So think about that, 9 seconds to go from not having an XRPL wallet to having an XRPL wallet that's open, funded, and ready to use. Amazing. So they've really, really done something special there. So I encourage you to check that out. So yeah, is there anything else you want to add today, Articulate? We should wind her down. I'll start talking here again.
No, I was just going to mention the fact that it's seed. You don't need a seed phrase, and I think that's key, because a lot of friction point for people that have no idea what blockchain is and what these wallets are is the seed phrase and the need to be able to protect it and make sure it's safe and everything. So you can actually onboard to the XRP ledger right now without having to do any of that, and I think that's a milestone in itself. So the more that becomes abstracted out, is the better, more easier it's going to be for people to pile in. And I know Flix.fun has where you could create your page, your homepage with just your email, Google login, your social login as well. So cruise control on Corium, same, social logins. So that to me, this part of the cycle and the bull run this time around, I think that being a reality is going to allow for more people to be willing to try and to test it and to come on board. So I just wanted to highlight that aspect of for the Anodos wallet, not having to need a seed phrase or to remember one or to tuck it away. You could come in just as you are right now today.
Yeah, you bet. It uses a technology from Palisade, I believe, a Ripple partner that uses your passkey on your device for it. So, and I think you're going to see this space move towards that as passkey. we're seeing it in other areas of our lives. And, our phone is becoming the extension of ourselves pretty much. So that makes sense to have a key there probably. But all right, well, let's wrap things up. Great show today. We'll be back again next Sunday. Superledger Podcast 107 next week. I'm not trying too hard to book guests this month. It's Christmas coming up. It's a busy time of year for people. Lots of exciting things going on in our ecosystem. So for the next few weeks, just think of it as having a place you can come hang out, have some conversation. If you have something going on you're building, working on, or excited about, please feel free to come up and share. That's what these spaces are for. If you're a validator and you have some ideas to bring value to the ecosystem or the governance, please come on by. Let's talk about it. We need more open forums of conversations to come to informed and educated discussions on how to move forward as a community and grow as a community. The technology has been built here the last couple of years, the foundations here, but the 2026 is a big year for ecosystem with Solotex being launched, and cruise controls just become the number one project on the Corium ecosystem for TVL. They have huge plans ahead, like you said, tokenizing gold and other opportunities. Degens, they're got another NFT marketplace about to come out, bring some new interest and activity to the ecosystem. So lots of things to talk about and be excited about. So just be warned that the next couple of weeks you'll have plenty of opportunity for that. I encourage you to stop by. I threw my link to Zora in the comments. For anybody that wants to find their way to Zora and say hello, let me know your X handle that you were there in the comments. So far, just articulates there. So anybody that stops by and says hello in the next 12, 24 hours, I'll be sure to reach out and say thank you. Have some creator coins over there, and happy to share them around, start experimenting with this whole base ecosystem. There's a lot of initiatives that will be coming up between what we're doing at Fix.Fund, Corium, and base over there. So good time to jump in and feel your way around. Next Wednesday, I'll be back on as co-host for the Flix Talk. Joined them here the last few weeks, so you can learn more about that from me there over on that show too. So it's been really fun, but lots of talking. So I will wrap it up. I appreciate everybody stopping by, and we'll see you guys here again next week. And I have some streaming coming up here this week. I got some exciting things to talk about in the next few weeks too. So stay tuned. Lots cooking. Appreciate you guys. Make sure you give the Superledger Podcast account a follow. Make sure people understand it's legit and real. We're going to get it verified so it looks pretty there too, and give Elon some more money to make these X spaces better. So thanks again, everybody. And we will talk to you all next time. Peace and prosperity to you all.